Hello, this is Alekius, and welcome back to War Plan Orange as the Allies in 1926 with no Washington Naval Treaty. It is August 4th. We finished up our turn in our orders in the previous episode. We have this new invasion fleet, unescorted. I mean, it's got a torpedo boat and some patrol gunboats. And our cruiser should be able to take care of it, which is why I left them there. So that's a new arrival, and it turns out that Djangas is unguarded, and Zabanga is lightly guarded. So I'm going to be assaulting those two locations and seeing if we can take both those ports and end the invasion of Mindanao. Meanwhile, all of our Australian combat divisions are moving to Brisbane, and the New Zealand transports are moving to bring everything to Auckland. From there, we will mount an Anzac invasion of probably the Marshalls and the Carolines, now that I'm thinking about it more. We'll probably work around Truk, because Truk is, or Chuk, is very well defended. And I'll try bombardment on some of these other larger ports in the Marshalls to see which ones have decent fortifications at this time period, before ordering an invasion that is bloody. But those are plans for the future. For now, let's see how the 4th of August goes, while I sip at my cup of lovely tea. The tea that I am drinking today is elderberry wine. If you ever come across it, it's an excellent blend. Got some sour tones to it, and some sweet tones, and I think they combine very nicely. Especially when you're snuffly and you have a sore throat. Here's the invasion fleet being spotted again around Midway. Japanese are surprised at night. Oh, we're getting the mine layer. I thought it looked funny, but it was a 4-stacker, so I'm like, that's gotta be a destroyer. Lo and behold, it was a mine layer. I'm not going to belabor it though. I'll skip ahead. So the patrol gunboat is sunk, and 2 transports, troop transports, are sunk. They didn't even return fire. Oh wow. We have bombers trying to intercept our battleship fleet. Total of 26 planes, 3 damaged. Looks like air power might actually be something we have to worry about. Who knew? These newfangled flying machines are very useful for more than scouting. Oh, below the waterline. Oh, brutal. Torpedo hit. These are torpedo bombers. Not sure which ones are the torpedo bombers. The Imperial Guards Division. Ooh, that was foolish to send unescorted to Midway. Considering the torpedo bombing of North Carolina, we should form a carrier escort force. Ooh, our attack at Zabanga. I think it's gonna be a little too close. Well, the odds are bad, but we really didn't take any significant damage, so that is good. All right, 5th of August. Marines are almost to Honolulu. Finish all of our task forces now. Trying to think if I want to send one out at all or not. We are out of fuel. Tankers are not yet here. Other tankers do we have? Okay, 2 major tankers, so we'll form a new group. Tanker. Grab our destroyers first, 4 of them. Grab the Raleigh light cruiser. I know this is a heavy escort for a pair of tankers, but I care about our tankers. I haven't really seen too much of the Japanese subfleet. Load some fuel, and then bring it to Midway, please. I suppose we can get rid of the Raleigh. I have scouts though, and I'd like to have that. I can use half the destroyers. The Radford and the Leia. And we'll put them back into the group. Leave the rest. How is the chase doing? Fires are almost out. Once the fires are out, I will feel relatively safe sending her back to the Hawaii. North Carolina is trying to separate. I'm going to say bear on. Despite the system damage and flotation damage. The escorts will not bombard. Pretty sure Wake has some coastal defenses. Ooh, there are battleship task forces here. A lot of heavy cruisers. Okay, we're going to turn around. Head back to Midway. And we're going to form up a new task group. Let's take a look, see what we have available first. Got the Langley, she's a seaplane tender. But she does have fighters and torpedo bombers. She's actually a carrier plane right now. Not a seaplane tender. Right, because originally she was the test platform, and then the US Navy converted her into an actual carrier. She was a carrier during this time period, and then by World War II she was a seaplane tender. or aircraft ferry. But she's a proper carrier right now. So we're gonna grab her. I'm not too keen on the Missouri. A couple of Tennessee and the Mississippi, maybe? Oh, the Mississippi is New Mexico. I have a soft spot for the New Mexico. It's a good dude, New Mexico. Tennessees are pretty cool. No. Tennessees have 12, 14-inch guns. The Mark 6. Tennessees use the older Mark 4. But the anti-aircraft suite. 57. Tennessee, we're looking at 57. Maneuverability 42, 42. They're very similar, they're just upgraded guns. What else do we have? West Virginia's a Colorado, which has 16-inch guns. 8 of those. Similar AA suite. Wish they had a class. It would make it so much easier to sort through all these. Mississippi is in New Mexico. Connecticut's are old, so are Louisiana's. Very old. Washington is a Colorado. Could take the Washington and the Colorado. Or the West Virginia. Do the West Virginia and the Colorado as one group. Surface, West Virginia, Colorado. Colorado. West Virginia. We'll grab the Lathe, the Radford, Patnell, the Babbitt, and the Birmingham. Which has very poor anti-aircraft, which isn't what I wanted. Alright, we'll still take it. We'll set them for Midway. Let's see, what other ships do we have that are in decent enough shape? Okay, this is a full list. Could actually do the Bunker Hill and the Ticonderoga as our fast group. Lexington is still repairing and older. She has Mark III. Mark 6, yeah. Although she's using the Mark III 16-inch. Yeah. Well, we'll leave the Lexington behind anyways. I'm going to use Bunker Hill and the Ticonderoga. That'll be a group. Bunker Hill, Ticonderoga. Raleigh's part of another task force. Look at the systems damage. Jacob Jones, Buchanan, Boggs, and Kilty. That's a fast group. No auto disband. Head for Midway and stay there. We're also going to want... We want to make sure to get the Langley out. We'll escort her with Charleston and the Frederick. Both of them. Decent AA and just a heavier armament. So protected cruiser and a heavy cruiser. If you're going to ask me. So air combat arm. Langley, Charleston, and Frederick. And we'll grab... I don't see much difference in our destroyers right now. 2, 3, 4. Keep it at that. At her home base, Midway. Turn, react, no retirement. Now the question becomes, any more battleships we want to send out? Got the New York, got the New Mexico, 2 New Mexicos, Mississippi, New Mexico, New Mexico, Mississippi, New Mexico, Mississippi I think has 6 system damage, Mississippi, 2, 3, 4, home base, max react, no retirement. Turn to Midway. Let's see, what else do we have? Pennsylvania's Pennsylvania class. So is the Arizona. I don't think they're fit. No, actually they're in pretty good shape. Pennsylvania and the Arizona will head out. Pennsylvania. So we can grab our destroyers first. 2, 3, 4. And Arizona. Looks like they came back together anyways. Max react, no retirement, at home base, Midway. Make sure everybody has replenished. Because even if they have all the fuel, they might not have ammunition. Let's see, what other ships do we have? Kentucky's old? No, this is a newer class that was on paper. Canceled at the end of World War I. Wisconsin matches. They're both the same class. They're in relatively the same condition too. So Wisconsin, Kentucky. Oh, grab our destroyers first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wisconsin. And Kentucky. Replenish. Max react. No retirement. Home base. Midway. Return. Alright, we have Idaho is New Mexico class. Oh, okay. California's Tennessee class. Washington is Colorado class. Maryland is Colorado class. Maryland and Washington go together. You can do that. Or Washington and Maryland. Washington, Maryland. Replenish, max react, no retirement, home base, midway, and return. I feel like this is even a bigger fleet than we sent out the first time. But the Tennessee, Idaho was Tennessee? No, Idaho is New Mexico. New York's New York class, California's Tennessee class. Send out the Tennessee and the California together. Missouri's old, Louisiana's old. It gets its own class and also old. What are those again? Tennessee, California. That may be the last group we send out. I send out a mismatched group. California, Tennessee. Replenish, max react, no retirement, home base, midway, and return. How many destroyers we have left? Because we could do the Idaho and the New York. They're a little mismatched, but they work. They're part of the standards, so they have the same speed. Idaho and New York. And Idaho. Max react, replenish, no retirement, home base midway, return. Any chance we want to move any of the rest of the Connecticut and Louisiana are both beat up. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave those. Tanker wise, we have some replenishment ships. Probably better off just keeping the tankers we already have allocated, moving back and forth between midway. Well, that took up a little bit of time. It's not easy to mobilize the American battle fleet, especially into what look like penny packets, but because of the way the game does combat, having huge task forces, only like a quarter of it will participate anyways. So it's better off to tailor the task force to, hey, here's a task group. Okay, so we have 4 transports sighted. Must send Dreadnought in now that the coastal defenses have been secured. These guys need some fuel. We'll send them into Davao. It says it's a little too far. Okay, that takes care of that. We'll send them into Dajangas as well. They steal from the troop ships? They might have. But that's not a big deal. Alrighty, let's get the first armored car company up at Lingayen. And the second one is down in Mindanao. But the third one to Guero Beach. And the Burmese brigades I might leave in place to see if they'll form up to a division. Although their assault value is decent, I might leave them separated for now. We can head to Lingayen. Second Burmese brigade will head for Guagaro Beach. Once at that point, I may look to push forward. Put some infantry in these mountains, and the armored cars to either side. Although this side is very... I might just bypass this. Push up through the mountains and into there. And then form a cordon around this beachhead. And seek to push it back into the sea. Now that they are good to go, we can set their destination to head up. Only traveled 6 miles. Give them a direct order then. And with the Indian Division, mostly there. Our base force in Davao, which will remain in place. They've got quite a force in there. Anything else I want to do with the ships in Hawaii? I'm thinking I do want to form up the replenishment groups. A replenishment convoy, one of them. Put 4 of the AOs into them. Ordered by 4 destroyers. I want them loaded with fuel. Keep them stationed up at Midway, but they will not unload there. And then when the rest get back, which they're over here, we'll form another group of 4. We'll have our 2 groups of tankers, which we don't have that many. We have some tankers we can send from the west coast. A couple here. I don't have escorts for them. Tanker. Then I think I'll grab the Widgeon. That's all we have. I'd like to take a look at our Rostook. Carry 12 aircraft. Janet, which can carry... Wow, that is a tiny ship. That's a seaplane tender, alright. That's not the one. We have squadrons of 11 each. We only have 2 AVs there. Load you with fuel. Set your home base for Pearl Harbor. Turn. I don't care about retirement, not allowed or not. Not unload cargo. Not auto disband. Head to Pearl Harbor. Pick up destroyers there and then continue on. Do that with these ones as well. Tanker, tanker. Load fuel. Do not unload. Turn to Pearl Harbor. It's a long day. Got 2 tankers here as well. I think I left 2 in each city, but I will send them back from Pearl Harbor to grab more fuel. I think we're going to grab 2 destroyers. Grab our 2 tankers. Load with fuel. Unload cargo. Set home base and retirement, Pearl Harbor. Let's set their destination to Midway Direct. And then Seattle, we have 2 tankers. Of course. 2 tankers, and that's it. Pyro. That is awesome. Load fuel. Retirement, but don't unload. Head to Pearl Harbor. Return. There we go. And then I want... It'll be an air combat group. Oh, you can't do that? What can we do with the escort? That won't work either. Air transport, that should work. Our AVs, Aristook. I don't have another task or any other ships to task with it. Question becomes, do we want the O2U Corsairs with their 230-pound bombs, or the fighters? I think the bombers are more important. Thought there was a thing for what they were upgrading to, and specifically that the naval and basically the fighters that the Marines would fly as opposed to the Navy, they had an option of what they upgraded into. Oh well, I'm not too worried about it. I want to transfer these ones to ship. And I can't do that. Or to base? No. Want to disband them. Don't want to withdraw them. Can't load them through here. Oh. Because... No, South Pacific. That is sufficient. I want to transport them up to Midway. Start stationing aircraft there. And a transport would be perfect for that. But I can't seem to load them. Change the mission. Dash transport. Load troops. Load the bombers. AKs are attack transports. They're just regular merchant ships. Okay. Then why do I need this seaplane tender? What is it good for? You back to training. I'm left at a loss. I'm showing my ignorance of how to use certain parts of the game. Seems weird to me. I would have figured the AVs could carry and handle. Has to be a float plane though, doesn't it? Suppose it makes sense. Form a new group. Transports. What does our sea active ships? I want to see our ship availability. We're getting the Argus and the Hermes. That's in Colombo. Yorktown is in San Diego in months and months. Okay, so that's not even a big deal. Wow, we're getting the entire British fleet in Colombo. At least we'll have the Argus and the Hermes. So we're probably going to have to crate up these naval fighters. Let's do that. Transport ship. And we'll grab 1, 2, 3. We don't have any other transports. So we will select our 3 air groups, get them loaded onto those 3 different ships. And we will unload them in Oahu. Or maybe we won't unload. Send them to Pearl Harbor, we'll pick up some destroyers, leave them in the transports, and then we'll take those to Midway. I wonder if I can use those patrol aircraft off the Aviation or float plane carriers, the Gannett and the Aristook. Because that would make them a lot more useful. Then I could have some recon out in the middle of nowhere. I won't be able to find out for a while. Alright, Without further ado, it's been quite a turn organizing all that. Roll time. Ah, here we go. And once again, try to move in on Midway. They're surprised again, which is good. This will probably take them out. Multiple, not just one ship. Well, we heavily damaged a couple. Plenty of shell fire. There we go. Onan Maru sings. Oh, they created up those planes fast. It is the 6th of August now. I have to marshal our resources since we're out of fuel on Midway. Speaking of, is our destroyer doing? Flotation is still taking more foot. I don't think she's gonna make it. We're gonna lose the chase. This makes me sad. Plenty of supplies though. And still replenish because that'll get our ammunition back. I think I will send the Seattle directly. Send the Charlotte to where she's projected to be. And I'll expect her to hit the Missoula directly. Alright, lots of movement now. Check New Zealand. Alright, here we are. Let's load only troops, which we can't. Ah, forgot. How much will it cost? 296 points. We'll get them in position. We have points we can burn. Be careful with it. Let all of those kind of sort themselves out. We won't pre-position them. Not yet, at least. Oh, we didn't find the transports. We'll move our ships up into Japanese troops. Set the Dutch ones for bombardment. Escorts can bombard. We have our second transport group. They're still unloading supplies. Lots of supplies in Davao now. First Malaya Brigade. Well, I have a mission for you. Why don't you set up there? See what happens. And I think that's it for the time we have right now. Got all our orders done. That's not an innovative name for it, but what stands out to me. And we're not backing down from that dangerous task. But I thank you for staying till the end. Please leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Take care.